We don't get a lot of victories for common sense in the state of Washington, and so this is definitely in the victory pile, and I want to celebrate this today. News broke after our final live show of the week last week that Ross Hunter, who is the Secretary of the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families, will not be seeking reappointment to his position. This segment is brought to you in partnership with our friends at Future 42. Turn your frustration into action at future42.org. Make sure you sign up for their newsletter. So there have been a lot of issues with Ross Hunter and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. First of all, the foster care system has been a deadly disaster. The Keeping Families Together Act, which made it much harder to take children out of homes where there was fentanyl abuse, in the way that act has been implemented, has led to deaths of innocent kids. And it's just been horrible to watch and to hear from some of these foster families and what they're trying to go through just to keep kids safe. So that in and of itself, I think, was enough to warrant Ross Hunter being removed from his position or having to resign. Now, the juvenile detention issue is a totally separate issue, just as bad. I'll get to more of that in a moment. But this is Ross Hunter released a video announcing publicly and to his staff that when a new governor comes in, so he's not resigning, taking kind of the coward's way out, but when a new governor comes in, he will not seek reappointment to his position.
So on Tuesday morning, I announced to my leadership team that I would not be seeking reappointment to this position, to the Secretary of DCYF, in January when the next governor takes office. It has been an incredible privilege to be able to both direct and really be part of a sea change in how we think about providing services to families, how we get upstream, how we invest in protective factors that actually keep kids out of our downstream services, and how we make those services more humane. It's been an honor working with you all. I'm excited.
So
I'm not going anywhere, so I'm excited to see the work that you all continue to do. And I'm really proud of you all. Thank you for your commitment to children and families in Washington.
Any insinuation that he has somehow made Washington State a better, safer place for children and families is just not true. It's not true, and there are so many examples of that. It's sad that Governor Inslee didn't have the political will to just fire him. I get it that Inslee's on the outs, but I mean, given everything happening between the foster care system and the juvenile detention system, that it would have been an easy decision to make to tell him resign or you're going to be fired, but he gets to take the easy way out and say, I'm just not going to seek reappointment. So DCYF is also charged with our juvenile detention system, which we know has been absolutely in shambles. I mean, to the point where they released a letter saying that they weren't even going to accept any more youth to be housed in their facilities. There's been issues at Green Hill School like assaults, drug trafficking, sexual abuse, you name it. I mean, there was a story out from Como News. This is just insane. Former Green Hill security guard charged with sex crimes involving an inmate. Because, of course, as a guard, there is no such thing as consensual sex between a guard and either a juvenile or a young adult housed at one of these facilities like Green Hill. Because remember, you also have young adults in these facilities. You can be in there up to the age of 25, which is insane. From Como News, a former security guard at the Green Hill School in Chehalis was charged with 2 sex crimes on Thursday relating to sexual misconduct involving an inmate at the correctional facility. Michelle Goodman is her name, 31 years old. She's charged with 3 counts of custodial sexual misconduct in the first degree. According to charging documents, she groomed a 23-year-old inmate for sex and then convinced the man to video record their sexual encounters in a bathroom of the Green Hill facility. That's just one of many examples of misconduct involving staff at Green Hill School. Guards have participated in the smuggling of narcotics into that facility. And this is costing taxpayers, right? So there's all these layers to this. So, for instance, Ross Hunter wants to say in there he's proud of what they've done for children, youth, and families. And, part of coddling juvenile offenders, letting 18 to 25-year-olds be housed in these facilities and then not treat them like they are hardened criminals, which you only get to Echo Glen or Green Hill if you've committed a very serious crime as a juvenile. Like, we're not putting kids in juvenile detention for shoplifting, okay? So first of all, they're not safe in there. Some of them are being groomed allegedly by female staff members into videotaping sex. There's been assaults in there. There's been overdoses in there. So that's not protecting or doing anything good for these youth who are in detention. But then also it's costing the taxpayers, because what happens when something like that goes on behind closed doors? We're being sued for it, of course. Yeah, if my child is a juvenile who's detained at Green Hill and is groomed for sex, or ODs on drugs that a staffer helped bring in, you think I'm going to sue the state? Hell yeah, I'm going to sue the state. This is from King 5. Washington Youth Detention Facility pays millions in sex abuse settlements against staff. Public records obtained by King 5 show a long history of sex abuse by staff members at the 131-year-old juvenile detention facility that now houses male offenders from 17 to 25 years. The documents show the state has paid $4,485,000 since 2018 alone to settle claims filed by 23 current or former Green Hill residents. 23. And since just 2018, more than $4 million in settlements. Yeah, Ross Hunter, tell me that that's a good place for juveniles. Tell me that's a safe place for juvenile offenders. Tell me that you've improved the lives of children, youth, and families while the head of DCYF. So Ross Hunter has been a failure. His failures have led to deaths. His failures have created and fostered dangerous environments. His failures have cost taxpayers millions of dollars. He should have been fired by Governor Inslee, or he should have been forced to resign, but because the political will doesn't exist, they're going to let him ride off into the sunset in the easiest way possible, and he is not going to seek reappointment to his position. It's not exactly the win we wanted, but I'll tell you, we have to take every single win we can get, and that is absolutely a win for sanity. It's a win for children in the foster system. It's a win for youth in juvenile detention, and it is a win for families in the state of Washington as well. That segment is brought to you in partnership with our friends over at Future 42. Turn your frustration into action at future42.org. Make sure you sign up for their newsletter to be alerted to opportunities to do just that.